Hello, welcome back to Nothing and Everything, a podcast that didn't record properly the last 2 weeks. I'm Russell.
I'm Arianna.
And we're back after a short hiatus because we had to figure out the recording of the show and everything else. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. Again, I haven't eaten before this, so I'm going to be struggling through this episode. I just got back from the gym, and it's going to be a good time. If this is your first time listening, we're not in the same room. We are doing this over the magic of the internet.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. So, apart from your week being good, anything exciting happen?
I got a job offer, which we all enjoy. Don't know if I'm going to take it yet because I have another job interview in a couple of days, so we're going to see how that all plays out. But yeah, finally getting started on the career in the film TV industry.
There you go. That's all. That's what it's all about. It's about those little moves and about the big moves. I'm in grad school, so I understand that one with making moves wherever you can, and it starts slow and just builds, I think, hopefully, maybe. That's what they keep telling me.
Yeah. How was your first week?
How was my first week? Just homework. Just kind of, nothing like homework. It's not homework as in you're going to be quizzed on it. It's sort of a do this yourself at home to learn a thing, and it will benefit you. There's no quizzes in any of my classes, but it's one of those, if you don't do the work, you're going to be behind, and you're not going to have the same knowledge everyone else will in your class. So it's sort of you're doing it to help yourself.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be some sort of, like, verification of it. At least that's what's on the syllabi for my 2 classes. But yeah, other than that, it's fun. Making friends, social butterfly life. But yeah, it's good. I enjoy it.
That's good.
Yeah. Other than that, nothing else is going on. I'm fantasizing about eating right now because I haven't eaten. But yeah, it's just another week, and we're finally going to be able to do the episode that we wanted to talk about. And we had 2 weeks to do research, and I know, Arianna, you did heaps of research on this topic, didn't you?
I did so many. I have my notes all right up here next to me, and we're going to go.
Fucking lying.
Yeah, I didn't make any notes, as per usual.
It's all good. I have notes, and we're going to guide this conversation along.
Last time I made notes, I did not use them, so there's no point in making notes to me.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. It's if you don't use them once, never, ever use it again. That's the motto here at See What Sticks Enterprises, LLC, Corporation, Incorporated. .LLC. That's our website now. But yeah, so have you heard of any movie news, or do you want me to take this away?
You can take the reign.
Okay. So let's do, let me look this up because of course I have it pulled up. Okay. So movie news since last time, we have heaps of trailers. We have heaps of reboots coming out. We have more Disney news. So we're just going to kind of plow through this because we're going to try to get through it pretty quickly. The first thing is Jojo Rabbit. The movie is getting really good reviews, which I'm happy about. I like Taika Waititi. I'm not going to spoil too much about the movie because I do know how it ends. I looked into it. And from what I've read from actual publicists and journalists about the film it isn't what the trailers say it is, but I think that's a good thing. I think people are going in expecting one thing and being hit in the face with something else, and you always like to see that, especially when it's a positive change.
Yes. I was a little hesitant when they said they were going to make this film, but they've changed my mind.
Yeah, the same. When I first heard about this, I'm like, this is only going to go one of one ways, but it didn't, and I'm excited. I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
We have kind of a pre-trailer type thing for the Breaking Bad movie going to Netflix. I loved Breaking Bad when it was on the air, but I don't really care about it now. And I mean, I'll watch the thing, but I don't. I'm not looking forward to it as in, oh, I can't wait. I'm counting down the days. Kind of like how I am for his Dark Materials or Watchmen or something like that.
Yeah. I feel like it was kind of a plan B to when Better Call Saul didn't do as well as they expected. So they were like, what can we do to still profit off of this? Because everyone loves Jesse and Brian together. Mm-hmm. And everyone kept saying, when are they going to be in another TV show or film together? We have to get them together. So it's like it's a sequel.
Yeah.
That maybe shouldn't be made, just in my opinion, because I don't believe a lot of sequels should be made.
Yeah.
The people who create it can still make money off of it.
100%. So that's all it's all about. It's about that sweet, sweet money. There is going to be a Funko Pop movie that's going to be made by Warner Brothers, which, honestly, at least it's something that's kind of a unique-ish idea, maybe sort of.
I feel like it's probably going to be like the Emoji Movie, where like they're just going to get a ton of famous people to do it, and then it's going to bomb.
Yeah, or it's going to be like the Lego Movie, which was actually surprisingly okay.
Oh yeah, when that came out, I wasn't expecting it to be that big.
Yeah, and it was huge.
What are the ones? Oh, there was Pitch Perfect, that everyone was a sleeper.
I've never seen it.
Like, it came out in theaters, nobody saw it in theaters, and then I think it came out on maybe like HBO or something, and everybody loved it.
Uh-huh.
Based off Collegiate Choir. No.
Yeah.
Whatever that.
Yeah, no. I know what you're talking about. I'm just like, yeah, it's whatever. It's just not for me, but I know people love it, and good for you, if you love it. We have the cast for the new Suicide Squad movie, directed by James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy. And so the cast has 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3. It has like 25 people plus, and all of them are big hitter names, and all it says underneath is don't get attached. So you know a lot of those people are going to die in the movie, which is the point of Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I feel like it might kind of be like Scream, where you put all those names out. In the trailer, they're going to put like basically everyone in there, and then they're all going to die in the first like 10 minutes.
Yeah. I think so too, and I'm happy about that, because I know James Gunn has the confidence and filmmaking ability to do that and satisfy an audience.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm stoked. Apparently, Robert Downey Jr. will be in the Black Widow movie, reprising his role of Tony Stark, which he needs more money or wants more money. He doesn't need more money. He gets paid like $100 million a year. But I think he genuinely loves playing Tony Stark, and I think he genuinely loves being part of the MCU. So good for him, and he's very charismatic. So
yeah, I feel like it was a good move after the whole Sony taking over Spider-Man move.
Yeah, I think so too.
Now, I don't know what they're going to do with it, because I think the last thing that I read, I could be wrong, was that they're giving they said we can give Disney like 30%, but Disney wanted more. Like, that's still open.
Yeah, the deal isn't closed yet.
Yeah. So we'll see, because, I mean, the other Spider movies, like, now there's not going to be a point to it, because it revolved around the MCU.
Yeah. For sure. Yes. 100p. All agreed. And the last big piece of news that I have for today, there's a lot more pieces of news, but the last big one is that Seinfeld is coming to Netflix in 2021, which seems like a little bit far away for that. I have it on Hulu, but I'd love to watch Seinfeld without commercials.
I love Seinfeld.
Same. I love it so much.
It's a nice move by Netflix, because they lost The Office.
Wait, The Office isn't on Netflix?
It's coming off Netflix, I think.
Really?
Yeah, Office and Friends. So they lost two major things that everyone rewatches, like, for the millionth time.
Oh, I don't really give a fuck about Friends. Sorry if you're a huge Friends fan out there, or if you're a Friends fan. I am not into it, but I understand why people love it.
News about Friends. The creator said that they will never do a reboot because it could never match the original.
Thank you. And, I mean, I loved The Office when it was on TV, like, 10 years ago or whatever, but the meme culture behind The Office now has kind of ruined it. But that doesn't mean The Office isn't quite creative and quite funny. It's just we're never doing an Office episode of this podcast. Saying that, we're eventually going to do an Office episode.
I actually have not finished The Office. I think I'm on like either season 3 or 4. I just lost interest. It was good. I just lost interest.
Yeah, I've seen...
Problem, not the show problem.
Yeah, I've seen all of it up until Michael Scott leaves, and then I've seen the last episode. So there's like 2 seasons I didn't watch, but I don't really care.
Yeah. Like, I'll rewatch Parks and Rec all the time and 30 Rock.
I've never finished Parks and Rec.
That's good.
I stopped when Chris Pratt got fit.
Okay, yeah.
So
there's he still delivered his, little one-liners. They let him go off script a couple times, which was funny.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, I like Parks and Rec. I do. I genuinely enjoy the show, but yeah. I don't know. A lot of those, like, sitcoms that are, like, network television ones, even if there's not a laugh track, I don't give a fuck. I really, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a jaded piece of shit, or maybe it's something else, but a lot of the times, I don't know, they don't really do it for me. The only show recently that's genuinely made me laugh is Big Mouth. And maybe that's because I have a very shit sense of humor or something. But a lot of other shows haven't exactly made me laugh, but I've been invested in dramas. But a lot of the comedies that are on are so samey that I'm like, eh. Like, they just don't do it for me.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the primetime, sitcoms. Like, yeah, they're cute, they're funny, but I don't sit down every week and watch it like my mom does.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think it's just maybe for a different generation or for a different viewing experience, and there's nothing wrong with that.
To be completely honest, I really do think Netflix and streaming services really ruined that.
Yeah, which is a great segue to what our topic is. What's our topic?
Streaming services.
Yep, streaming services. Are there too many of them?
See, I try and make segues.
There we go.
Decided to work out.
Yeah, streaming services. Are they a bad thing or a good thing or yeah? So what is your opinion on streaming services?
I like them. I think they're a great way for, filmmakers or creatives to get their work seen to a different audience. That if, like, the major film companies or the TV stations won't let them, but if they don't think it's good to be on, like, prime time, 8 o'clock on, like, a Sunday night, like how Game of Thrones was, or 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
That Netflix gives them the opportunity to get that across. Like, which one it was. Nobody wanted, I think it was Orange is the New Black. Or, like, one of their original shows. That people didn't want it. They went around to all the networks. All the networks, and they were like, no, we don't really think so. And then Netflix was like, you know what?
We'll take it
on. And it was, like, the first one that kind of got the Netflix originals to become a thing and to get Netflix to decide, oh, this is good, let's make more.
Yeah. And I mean, I think there's a positive side of it. And I think streaming services in general do pump out quite a few positive shows or few good things. And a lot of stuff I haven't seen in general is reviewed fairly well. And I know there's trash on every platform, whether it be network television, premium cable, or streaming, or YouTube, whatever. There's always going to be garbage. There's always going to be good stuff. But I do think, yeah, like you said, I think there's a positive side to it, a very positive side. But the side that I think that is verging on a negative is the cost of all of them. So if you only have one subscription, it's blank dollars a month. And we're going to get into that. But now let's say you do HBO Now, Netflix, Hulu, Showtime, CBS, like All Access, Prime, Stars, Disney Plus, Amazon, or like Apple TV, sorry, and all these other ones. You're paying around $100 a month, like $95 to $100 a month if you're doing all of those. So you might as well not have cable. And then there's like YouTube Red or YouTube Premium or whatever, which is another $10 a month. So it's going to be over $100 a month just in content. And there is going to be a bit of an overlap in some of them. And I think that's where you're running into an issue where people have normal television subscriptions and they have streaming. And then I think at the end of the day, what means more? Because at least for the network television or like the cable / satellite provider that my family uses and that I mooch off of, there's like a library of films and stuff that come through that programming that I can also watch that overlap with Netflix and Amazon Prime and other things. So it makes it not useful to have other streaming services. But if you didn't, I could see how that is very tempting. But again, you're spending a lot of money. And my biggest question is it worth it?
Yeah. I mean, I mooch off my dad because he has majority of those subscriptions. But it's also because my dad also uses them all the time. So it's not like he just uses it just to pay for it, just so my brother and I can use it. Like, I mooch off my brother, too. He pays for Hulu, so I just have his account. And he does ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
So I mooch that as well.
Yeah. And
although I tell them I would be paying for Disney Plus.
Yeah. So. And I mean, like, that's like the whole mooching off of it side, I don't think is inherently a bad thing. But I don't know. I think we're reaching this, like, breaking point of streaming services losing their novelty of being what they are, and you're getting to this degree of to what end and why does it matter now? And especially with certain streaming services putting out content once a week, the same as network television, you're losing the what makes it special. And I think in that you lose the incentive to have any of it, because if it is just coming out once a week, like the Great British Bake Off on Netflix,
we're so mad about that.
It's like, who cares now? Because when you do that, you do want to binge it, and I know not everyone binges shows. I get it, but there is this side where you want to be able to binge it. You want to be able to stay up all night, or maybe you're sick or home from work or it's a weekend. But if there's only one a week, then yeah, it's the same as network television. Then why are you paying $11 a month?
You made cable.
Yeah, thank you for reinventing cable. And that's like where the question kind of comes from, is like, is it worth it? Does it really matter anymore? Like, why does it matter?
Although I will say, I know for ESPN Plus, like, for me, because, like, I'm a huge soccer fan. So I like all the leagues, so I'll watch, like, Serie A, or Serie A, however you say it. And that is on ESPN Plus. Like, the games will be on there, and you can, watch them later. Like, if you can't watch it live, it's kind of like a replay. Instead of having, like, my dad pay for, on our TV service provider, pay an extra, I think it was, like, $30 a month to get access to one of the soccer channels where I could watch it when I was younger, before ESPN Plus became a thing.
Yeah. And yeah, for those kind of things, I do see the usefulness of it. But I don't know. I think a lot of their selling points are kind of becoming invalid.
Yeah, I mean, I watch, obviously, all the streaming services. The only thing I watch on cable is my reality TV and sporting events.
See, I watch only a few sporting events. I'm not as big of a sports fan as you are in general. However, that doesn't mean I don't like sports, but a lot of what I'll watch, will be like Sunday night or whatever, or it'll be like a Purdue game that I'll watch, Boiler Up. But apart from that, I don't. And I mean, even when Game of Thrones was on, or even with Watchmen coming out and his Dark Materials, or anything like that may be coming out, I don't usually watch them live, or if I do, I watch it on my laptop or on this computer that I'm recording on, or my laptop, which both have like 4K monitors, where my TV downstairs doesn't. It's not a 4K screen. So the quality that I'm getting out of this physical computer or my laptop, you get a better viewing experience. I can put headphones in, I can sit in a dark room, I can turn the lights off in the studio and watch it that way, and I may not be as comfortable when it comes to seating, but I think the viewing experience is better. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of like playing both sides of the coin here, but yeah, there's a usefulness to it, but also, I don't know. I think eventually there'll be a company that'll come out that will, in essence, bundle a bunch of these streaming services together, and then look what you have again. You have like an AT&T, you have like a Xfinity Uverse, or you have like whatever have you. And I think that's just where we're going again. And then after that, something's going to change and break off to a new medium, and you're just going to go through this cycle forever.
So you're basically describing a Disney Plus.
Yeah, and like as much as like, I don't know, I have my own issues with what Disney is doing, where they're buying up everything, and a monopoly in general is not good. This is just like business 101. This is just like capitalism 101. Monopolies are not a good thing. But Disney seems to be making good stuff, so they're having people buy into it. And yeah, I don't want to be the odd person out not watching it. And that's like the idea of these streaming services, is you want to be part of the conversation. That's like what really makes you want to buy, is your friends and family are talking about it. You don't want to be left out.
Yeah.
But also, what's up?
It said it brings you back to the binging, because
yeah,
Netflix will put on at like 11:30, like when they early released Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
I know I had to wait for my mom to watch it on Saturday, so we couldn't watch it when it came out. And I had to stay off social media.
Yeah.
Like anything that I saw that said Orange is the New Black, I had to quickly scroll past it so I wouldn't know anything about it.
Yeah. That's definitely, it's real. And I think, I don't know. It's just interesting that what these streaming services are and how they've become part of like our culture and our world. And I find it interesting how they compete with each other, and like how they've changed the dynamic of watching TV with your family and friends. And I don't know, like there's a lot that's going on, and I know I said I don't know a lot in this episode, but I have the opinion of they are useful right now, and I like them now, but if we continue down this path, I may kind of tune out a bit. And which one of the streaming services that's released or not released could you see yourself getting rid of, and which one or ones could you not get rid of?
Not get rid of? I think it would have to be Netflix.
Okay.
Just because for me, it's like the whole every month you get a new release for like random stuff, even if it's like shows you don't really want.
Yeah.
Like, that's legitimately, honestly, the only place I can watch Great British Bake Off.
Yeah.
We don't live in the UK, so we don't have access to it. And I guess I could buy it off of Amazon.
Yeah.
I also don't have a DVD player to buy it because it's only on DVD.
Yeah. And I get that side, and that's what makes the streaming services so appealing is, it's convenience, and it's just like this instant gratification thing that is so with what we as like a society and culture want. And but I don't know. I think the one I could get rid of, I think I could get rid of most of them. The only streaming service I couldn't get rid of is Spotify, because it's music. And it's kind of its own world. And I genuinely love Spotify. I've been a Spotify subscriber since like 2010 or something.
Yeah.
I've been like an early adopter. When it was still just like a British company, I joined like the US beta in like 2009 or 10. And I think that's the only one I could never see myself getting rid of. All the other ones, in some capacity, I could live without.
I have quickly noticed the difference of, since I moved back home, my parents after graduating, that like my mom doesn't really watch Netflix all that much. She only watches a couple of shows on her own, and then if we watch anything together, that's the only time that she'll watch it. She'll like put on the calendar like Blue Bloods when the season premieres on, or like Grey's Anatomy, or whatever shows that she watched. Like we do Worst Cooks in America. Like some cooking show she'll put on there, like the competitions and everything. And she'll sit there and, like, watch it, like, on TV, but yet I'll forget that it's on.
Yeah, I totally understand.
The binging of the shows, like, oh, yeah, I know, it's season whatever is coming out in, like, 2 weeks, so I'll just watch it then. Like,
yeah.
She'll like to binge because she's like, you lose the whole day, which is fairly true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but then after, like, what else do I have? And I'm like, yeah, but it's the whole point of going on Netflix if you're watching a TV show is to just binge it.
Yeah, it really is. And I think there's definitely that difference in idea of how you consume media there. But I think with that being said, a lot of the TV shows, like you just said, Blue Bloods or like The Worst Cooks in America, it's like that episode of Rick and Morty where they're going through all the different like interdimensional cable channels. You could be naming shows that don't exist that I wouldn't even know. You could be saying like, oh, Worst Cooks in America and stuff. That may be a show, that may not be. I don't know because I'm so out of the loop when it comes to network kind of television that when people talk about shows, it's like there's... I don't even know how to make up a name, but it's like in the Rick and Morty one, it's like Baby Legs or like Real Fake Doors or something. Where it's like, if someone told me that was a real show and I just didn't know it was a Rick and Morty reference, I'd be like, oh yeah, definitely. Just because I'm so out of the loop because of Netflix and because of everything else. And I think it's interesting probably that viewership on TV is probably so low in compared to what it used to be. Even like CBS All Access, I'm sure like there's the vast majority of people who want to have it, and then don't even watch normal CBS anymore. They just will watch it for the news, maybe one other thing, and then CBS All Access.
March Madness. I feel like that's really when the majority of the people put on CBS.
Oh, yeah. March Madness or something like that, like a sporting event, is probably where they're getting the vast majority of like the revenue. But yeah, I think all of that is fascinating, and there's a really funny line that John Oliver said on Last Week Tonight, because he's on HBO. He said when Game of Thrones was going off there, he's like, yeah, this last season sucks, but in like 2 weeks when the season ends, this network is so totally fucked. Because everyone joined for Game of Thrones. But I think it's interesting because the reason Game of Thrones was able to happen is because of how HBO works. People buy a subscription to HBO for, let's say, Sex and the City, or, I don't know, what else was on HBO? Entourage or something. What?
I said The Sopranos.
Yeah, Sopranos. And they never cancel their subscription, so HBO just keeps making money. And I'm sure there's a lot of people from Game of Thrones who bought their subscription at a certain year and just keep paying for it forever. And that's how they're racking up so much money to make bigger and bigger projects. And HBO banks off of that, but it's so true. Like, yeah, there's going to be less viewership after Game of Thrones, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are keeping that subscription on board for the infinite Game of Thrones prequels we're going to get, or his Dark Materials, which is the Golden Compass, for those of you who don't know, or Watchmen or something.
I also feel like HBO and Game of Thrones, I know we always talk about this really, but it was the show that made a comeback for TV.
Oh, yeah.
It's because HBO decided to obviously do the show, but to also give the creators the artistic, I wouldn't say freedom, but like the money to go out and get like Pixamundo, who does all their visual effects.
Yeah.
And make it so cinematic that people don't feel like I'm watching TV. It's like I'm watching a film on the small screen.
Yeah, I definitely 100 million % agree with that, because it redefined TV and it made TV cool again. And it became appointment television, and a lot of other things weren't appointment television where you had to sit down with the friends and family and just be like, we're watching this now. And I think that did a lot for TV in a really good way, but I don't know what other show's going to do that. Maybe Watchmen will for people who are fans. But I think what HBO just did is they gave them a blank check and were like, we have faith that you're not going to fuck this up. And they didn't fuck it up for 7 years, and then in the 8th year they kind of fucked it up.
I mean, I also think it was, I forget who I was talking to, and they were like, no matter what genre you like, that show had it. You had, like, the fantasy, the drama, the romance, comedy, like, everything, like, every different genre besides maybe the obvious, like, Western.
Yeah.
Was in that film. Like, someone would like something out of it.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree.
So it bridged the gap between, like, The Sopranos, which was strictly just, like, drama and Italian mob-style gore, compared to Sex and the City, where it was a drama comedy about girls trying to find love.
Yeah.
Really weren't for everybody, but Game of Thrones technically was, even though some people still don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was something different, and I think it was something that made high fantasy rather cool again. And I think it made high fantasy relevant where it sort of wasn't since probably Lord of the Rings. And now we're getting another Tolkien-averse thing that Amazon's doing that I think, and I have faith that will be a lot better than Game of Thrones. Not that I'm saying I don't like Game of Thrones. I was a huge Game of Thrones fan. We did like a series of episodes about it.
Yeah. I think for HBO, I think the last show that was like a big thing before Game of Thrones was The Sopranos.
Entourage.
Oh yeah, Entourage, yeah. I mean, I still remember watching The Sopranos when it came on, even though I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, I agree. I remember I didn't have HBO at the time, but I remember watching it with my friends at the time at like their houses at sleepovers and stuff. Because it was one of those things that people were talking about. So me and my friends being in like high school or whatever were like, or like 8th grade, we're like, we need to watch this. We need to understand like what people are talking about. And this is sort of in a pre-YouTube world, that we're like, we need to know what this thing is that everyone is on.
Oh yeah, my parents let me watch it with them. So that was, you had friends, I had my parents.
Yeah.
But now I think the true question is, what do you think about Netflix and the Academy?
I think if your film is on Netflix, it should be able to be nominated for an Academy Award. And if you don't think so, I think you're not with the times. And I don't think the manner in which you publish or distribute your content should eliminate you from certain awards. I think that's just horseshit, is frankly what I think. I think if you put the time, effort, love, and care into a product and into a film, you 1 million, billion, trillion % should be recognized by the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, and Sciences, or what have you. And if you don't, you're just fucking wrong. Like, I don't know. And I think I love Steven Spielberg's movies, but if he's going off on this whole thing where he's like, no, they shouldn't, dude, you're just not with the times anymore. Like, I'm sorry, but you're just not.
Stop making Star Wars remakes. Make other films.
Yeah, make something else. Like, we don't need to see another Star Wars movie. Like, okay, I get it. If you love Star Wars,
E.T. or something, but not really. Like, go into that idea. Like, at the time, E.T., nobody ever thought of something like that film.
Yeah.
Same with Jaws. Nobody ever thought of it. Why? I don't get why we can't go back into that type of filmmaking. Like, yes, sequels, I will admit, some are better than the original. You can all make your comments about that. But some of them are just not needed.
I completely agree. I think a vast majority of them aren't needed. And, yeah, it's so complicated with it because you want to be on one side where you are saying, like, yeah, make more movies because it does benefit the film industry. It's all of this other stuff. But then it's like it does limit a sense of creativity and it does stifle other things going on because you are only rebooting the same thing over and over again and you're on a creative hamster wheel.
There was a quote that I saw. It was like, filmmakers don't make movies to make money. Filmmakers make movies to make more movies.
Yeah, and as a filmmaker, I genuinely think that. Like,
I'll make a film, like, I don't need to make money off of it.
I mean, yeah, you need to make money to live and, like, feed yourself, but
I mean, if I make a film and you want to pay me to make another film, please do. But I mean, because, like, I want to get my point across, and I would like to see people somewhat relate to it and enjoy it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, I don't know, there's so many people out there who have this desire to be famous rather than a desire to be a good creative in the film industry. And I'm not talking smack about anyone in particular, but at least for me, this isn't me being like holier than thou or me being special by not wanting this, but I don't really care about that. I'd rather people enjoy the work I make than someone put me on this like pedestal and me be famous. Like I don't care about the fame and stuff. I'd like recognition for my work, but that's about it. And I think we live in this weird space where that's not always the case for everything, and it leads to some weird toxicity, and then that also will go back into the academy and everything else, and then you're just kind of in this weird circular loop of what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah. I think streaming services are a kind of a big FU to major networks. Because, like I said, I think Orange is the New Black circulated around the network scene for a bit. No one picked it up.
Yeah.
It goes on Netflix, becomes a major hit, and now that's the only thing people are talking about. It goes 9 seasons.
Yep.
It's kind of like you didn't believe in, not that you didn't believe in my work, you just didn't believe that my work
was legitimate.
Yeah, it was legitimate to be on your network or however the hell they first did it as. But now look at what those creators have. The writers and everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Show that was nominated for so many Emmys.
I completely agree. And yeah, I think there is that weirdness to it where, oh, you didn't believe in us now, but like, look who's laughing sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think the whole climate is really strange. And I think it will eventually settle out, so to speak. But I don't think that's going to be for a little bit. And I think we're going to go through these growing pains.
Backtrack a little bit, because I just remembered my thought. You were saying how that the Academy should let Netflix shows be put in. And that, Steven Spielberg should not say majority of his comments. Yeah. Then why is it that Martin Scorsese is putting The Irishman on Netflix after its theater release? Why not just keep it in the theater?
Yeah, I think Martin Scorsese can see that. Give the movie to where the audience is. Put the movie where the audience is. Don't make the audience go to the movie exactly. And I know there is like problematic things with that statement, but seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I know why he put in theater for that limited release was just so it can be in the running for an award.
Yeah,
because the Academy has a certain time frame for films to be put in before it can be nominated for the next award season, and I think that deadline is coming up. I believe.
I think it's the end of December.
Yeah, somewhat coming up.
I think it has to be before New Year's.
Yeah, so I totally get why it's only going in like the major metropolitan areas for about, I think it's 2 weeks before it's put on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, I'm just gonna wait for it to hit Netflix. Like, even though I live near a major metropolitan area, will I go see it in the theater? If it's going on Netflix.
If it's really hyped up, I'll see it. But other than that, I'll just go to Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's like the main things I wanted to hit when talking about these streaming services, because it is a really complicated topic, and I think people just I don't want to say take it for granted, but I don't think people think about them enough and think about them and what they mean for the industry as a whole. Oh,
topic off of streaming services. Well, it's technically a streaming service since we both have used this streaming service, Masterclass.
Yeah.
It is technically a streaming service because you are watching videos.
Streamed.
And they're pre-recorded.
Are you asking me my opinion of Masterclass?
Well, no, because it's kind of like a streaming service-ish.
Yeah.
But this one, you're interacting with the other people who have paid to be a part of this streaming service.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think Masterclass is a really cool concept, and I like it. I mean, I pay for it. I pay for certain classes. I don't do the whole full subscription because not all of them are useful in my eyes for me. And I know the reason they're on there is because people want to see a class in that specific genre or in that specific what's the right word for this? In that specific practice or in that thing.
It's a wide range.
Yeah, the people want to see it, and I think that's super, super, super important. But not all of them are cool for me. I mean, I would definitely do the Judd Apatow one, the Ron Howard one, the Werner Herzog one, and those, but not all the other ones, and the Aaron Sorkin one. Maybe I'm forgetting one. I want Roger Deakins to do one on cinematography, but I don't know if he'll ever do it.
I don't know. I don't know how they got, like, all these famous people or well-respected people in the craft to do it. Yeah, but when they first start out, you don't have that kind of money to pay them.
That's true. I think maybe it's based on goodwill and everything else. I'm not exactly sure how they convinced these people to do it, because Gordon Ramsay was one of the first ones. And, I mean, I don't think Gordon Ramsay's in any need of money anytime soon, but maybe part of it is they do want to teach people.
Yeah. I mean, I would want to pay for that class, but he's on Hell's Kitchen, so I see him. He does cook sometimes.
Yeah.
He does the cooking show. I forget what it's called, but he has, like, the kid one and then the adult one.
Yeah.
And then if you legitimately just Google him, not Google him, YouTube him, he has all these videos where he cooks stuff.
Yeah.
And he tells you how to do it. So he already does it, and you don't technically have to pay for it.
Exactly, yeah.
For YouTube, it is free unless you do the subscription. But I don't know, maybe he's teaching you stuff that you don't see on those things.
Yeah, maybe they go a lot more in depth, and I don't know because I haven't done it, but yeah, I think they are really interesting, and I mean, YouTube is also a good resource. So if you don't have these and you're feeling bad about it, dude, just go on YouTube. You can figure it out, sort of thing. But yeah, I think it is interesting, but I think the streaming service universe is going to grow a lot more before anything changes. And I know video games are going to the streaming service world where it's like cloud-based, and I think that is kind of cool, where you can just stream video games with your friends and do that instead of having a physical disc. And I use Steam for my computer. I mean, I'm not a big gamer by any means, but I do have some games. I know Ben and I on a show talked about video games very lightly, but I think that is kind of where my pop culture knowledge sort of runs a little thin. I mean, I know Borderlands 3 just came out and stuff like that, but there's like a million games that always come out, and I know about like 4 of them, just because it's like what my friends play and everything. But I don't have heaps of time for video games, unfortunately. I wish I could play more because they are a lot of fun, but I also suck at them. So my hand-eye coordination is just not there. Yeah.
Video games besides like the Wii or like the GameCube.
Yeah.
But I think that's also because I have an older brother who used to play all those video games.
That's true. I mean, I had an Xbox in college and stuff, and my roommates had like Xboxes and PlayStations and stuff. And then we all had like gaming computers, but also I edit with my computer, so it's not a gaming computer first, it's an editing computer that also can play video games because it's just really powerful.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think a few people have asked me to talk about video games on this, and the answer is I would, but I'm not good enough at talking about them, and I don't think it would be very interesting unless you want to hear an idiot talk about video games. But yeah, before we go on, I have a question. What is your favorite sub from Subway? I know this is a real hard left turn, but it was asked to me, and I'm just wondering what yours is.
I'll go with the Italian, what is it, the Meat Lovers one? Or the Italian one?
The Italian BMT?
Yes, it's not because I'm Italian, but that's just the one that I get a lot.
See, since I don't eat meat really, I get the See, I get the veggie patty one, or I'll get tuna. And I really like it. Wait, what kind of bread do you get? Are you like a foot-long bread person? Are you 6-inch person? Are you a wrap person? Or
I get the 6-inch because sometimes I'm not really hungry when I go to Subway, so I don't want to waste a whole foot long because I get like the oil and vinegar on it, and that kind of soaks up the bread and makes it ugh.
Oh, see, I don't ever get oil and vinegar on it. I've actually never done that. See, I always get the tomato wrap because a wrap is bigger than a 6-inch, but smaller than a foot long, and you can just jam a bunch of shit in there. And it's not as much carbs because a wrap sandwich doesn't have as many carbohydrates. It's like straight up bread.
Oh, but I like my toasted.
See, you can get the wrap toasted if you ask for it.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
I know. I'm just trying not to eat like heaps of bread. That's my thing as well. Because
I love bread. I could eat that all day.
See, I like
good
bread. See, I like good bread as well, but then I'm also like oh shit, it's going to
destroy
my
body.
Don't
give me that, like, the Wonder Bread with, like, the white bread that you get at the grocery store that you made your sandwiches. No, not that bread.
Yeah, you want the real deal.
Like a nice baguette or something.
Yeah, and
sausage bread, you know.
Yeah, I completely see that. I'm just definitely in the school of if I eat too many carbohydrates, I'm going to hate myself. And then, yeah, it's just going to be a circular thing. And definitely don't look into that if you're listening to this. And my definite crippling body dysmorphia, don't worry about it. Don't even trip, dog.
He's fine.
Yeah, I'm totally fine. Seriously, I am fine. Even though I have lost a bunch of weight recently. Don't even look into it.
He's fine.
Yeah. But
gain it back.
Exactly, right? I'll just go downstairs and eat a bundt cake. Do you have nothing bundt cakes by you?
No.
They're fire. If you guys know what I'm talking about with nothing bundt cakes, hit me up. They're fucking good. Maybe it's just a Chicago thing. I don't know. But, yeah. What's your favorite fast food?
Fast food, Chick-fil-A.
Ooh, see, even if I was eating chicken, I don't fuck with homophobic chicken. Sorry.
I love Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I know they're like CEO retired and all this other stuff, but
Well, Popeyes does have good chicken too.
My parents like Popeyes a lot. I wonder what my parents' favorite food. My parents like Boston Market, which is essentially Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
See, for Thanksgiving food, I can only do Thanksgiving food around Christmas and Thanksgiving. I can't do that when it's warm out.
I don't like turkey, but I'll only eat turkey on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I can only do that food around the holidays. I can't really do it any other time because it sort of ruins it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only meat on the table, and like, if I don't eat meat, like I'm starving after. Then I just snack the rest of the night.
Yeah, I see. I'm
worse than I already do, so I need like substance.
Yeah, see, for me, I am always a person at Thanksgiving and everywhere else who falls the fuck asleep. And you know how it's usually like, it's like your grandpa that falls asleep, or your grandma, or like the uncle, whatever. It's me, the 24-year-old.
My whole family, like, we'll go downstairs in our basement because we host Thanksgiving. And, like, in between the meals, like, we'll have our first course. And then they go downstairs to watch football. And come up for the second course. And then we'll go back downstairs. And then before dessert, like, everyone is passed out.
Yeah.
And then they'll get mad that they missed the game. But, like, it's not my fault you guys fell asleep. So how was I supposed to know I was upstairs?
Yeah, see, okay. Everyone, because we all host Thanksgiving, or we'll go to my cousin's, like my mom's twin, for Thanksgiving. And it's always fun. They always watch sports and it turns into an argument. I will put on headphones and fall asleep because I am not about to get in an argument with anyone. Usually I stay very quiet all of those family events. Not because I don't love my family. If you're listening to this and you're my family, you know I love you. You guys are great. But also I just don't. I don't know. I just don't. I'm not getting into it. I'm here to eat food and hang out and have a good time. I'm not here to get into an argument.
Oh, see, it's about my brother and I think we're like we're legitimately the only two people that will probably get drunk on family holidays.
See, I can't drink alcohol, so that's not a thing for me either.
We just like good wine.
And I totally,
We're not
totally
alcoholics.
understand.
I will state that now. We are not. We just like our drinks, but we're not really alcoholics, I swear.
I mean, yeah, no, yeah, I don't think you're an alcoholic. I mean, I don't really know, but I don't think you're an alcoholic.
No.
You don't strike me as one.
I drink every night. No.
No. And I mean, like, yeah, if you like some of the sauce around the holidays, go for it. I mean, I'm never going to judge. Like, do your thing. But yeah, I just don't around family stuff, you know.
Or I just eat a ton of dessert.
Oh, I'll eat an entire bottle of whipped cream. Like, that's something I always do every holiday. And you know what? If you don't like it, whatever.
Yeah, like my aunt makes pumpkin pie, but I hate anything pumpkin.
Uh-huh.
So I tell my mom she has to buy an apple pie just for me because I won't eat the pumpkin pie.
See, I don't really like apple pie. I'm a bigger pumpkin pie guy.
I don't like pumpkin. Like, I won't do pumpkin spice lattes.
You know, pumpkin spice lattes have no pumpkin in them. There's no pumpkin in pumpkin spice. It's just like these seasonings that go into pumpkin pie. And also, pumpkin pie that you will get, unless you make it from scratch, isn't actually made with pumpkin. It's made with a squash that's a lot easier and cheaper to make if you get it from a can, or even like the gourmet pumpkin pie stuff. It's actually not really pumpkin. Fun fact.
Yeah. Like, my mom was super excited because Dunkin' decided in August to already whip out their pumpkin spice coffee.
Dunkin' Donuts has pumpkin spice coffee?
Yep.
Really? Huh.
Yep. My mom buys a little pumpkin spice, like, coffee creamers.
No way.
Yeah. My mom's big on pumpkin spice. Like, Trader Joe's has, like, a pumpkin spice seasoning that only comes out, obviously, during this time of year.
Yeah.
So she's like, we have to go to Trader Joe's.
Interesting.
Go to Trader Joe's, but not to get that seasoning.
Do they have... I'm going to look this up. I'm going to go online. Here, because I don't really like eating a lot of sugar. It's not good for you, so I'm going to look up...
I will say, Trader Joe's has this... I think it's... like, everything but your bagel seasoning that I've heard is very, very good. I've never had it.
Oh, so they do have sugar-free coffee stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. How did we get on this topic? How did this even happen?
I don't know. I think we started talking about holidays, and then I mentioned I don't like pumpkin spice.
That's true.
It's our usual conversations, just...
Yeah. Sorry, I'm sending a text on my computer now, so I'm not on my phone, but I'm still being equally as non-professional on this show. But yeah, so we had a definite talk about stuff and things and stuff, which is good. I like having a talk about stuff and things and stuff. And pumpkin spice lattes, a thing that I'm not a huge fan of. But I do like pumpkin spice whipped cream. Pumpkin spice whipped cream is fire.
I'll have, like, apple cider stuff.
Oh, I like apple cider too, but I don't like apple pie, which is weird.
I'll eat an apple pie. I can go in on apple pie.
I'm just not huge into it. It's just like, I'm not about it. But yeah, I understand. Wait, what's your favorite holiday, like, food thing? You're like, one holiday item that could be Christmas or Thanksgiving that's your favorite.
Favorite. We do Christmas Eve at my house. That's a big thing.
What's the food, though?
It's 7 fishes because we're Italian.
Oh, right on. Okay.
I'll just make, like, a shit ton of fish.
Yeah. My mom makes this sweet potato pie with, like, pecans on it. So good.
Never had potato pie.
Ooh, it's really, really good. My mom makes really good sweet potato pie. Or
pecan pie.
I like pecan pie a lot.
Never had that.
It's just straight sugar. It's so good. But I also like stuffing a lot. Or dressing. Whatever. If it is stuffed or if it's on top of the bird. Yeah. I'm a huge stuffing person.
My dad makes, for Thanksgiving, he has to make his mom's butternut squash soup.
I love squash soup, so...
So he makes that, and we put, like, and he crisps up the prosciutto in the pan, and then we have to break it up and put it on top of the soup.
So good. So good. Damn, that sounds good. But my mom also makes bread pudding, which is really good because she's Irish. Bread pudding, It's like... If you guys don't know what bread pudding is, it's essentially like breadcrumbs or like bread that you rehydrate with cream and butter and eggs, and then add chocolate into it, and then you bake it, and it turns into like a pudding, but like a British pudding, not like pudding as we think in the U.S. And then you have whipped cream with it or ice cream, and it's fucking delicious. So good. But it's straight carbohydrates and sugar, but it'll put some weight on them bones.
My mom does a mean crumb cake for Easter.
Ooh, crumb cake is really good. My mom will do the whole like Irish thing where she'll do corned beef and cabbage and the whole thing for around it. It's so good.
See, my mom was the baker and my dad's the cook. My mom also cooks, but my dad doesn't bake. My baking is going to like the pastry shop and buying it and then putting it on the table.
Yep. My dad's the baker.
My mom and I did bake on Sunday. We did a recipe from the Great British Bake Off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? You did like an actual recipe?
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
Mexican wedding cookies.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
It's just flour, butter, confectioner's sugar, and pecans. It's like very simple. But we had to do the conversions because it was in...
Yeah, it was in the European measuring systems.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I don't know the word.
We doubled the recipe because it only made 16 cookies, the original one. We were like, that's too little. We have to make more.
Yeah.
But we put too much butter in because we had to use 2 sticks of butter instead of 1. But like nothing's wrong with it being a little bit buttery. It was just like crumbling apart, but it was fine. Yeah,
it's all good.
Held together, we're fine.
Yeah, we should just do a review of the Great British Bake Off one of these episodes. I don't know if you guys could tell in this episode, but I'm really tired. And my pre-workout was slowly wearing off. And I haven't eaten since lunch. And we're recording this at 10 p.m/11 p.m. your time.
See, but like, that's consistency because you never eat before a podcast.
You're right, I don't. Because I always come straight back from the gym before the show. And I don't eat before the gym. And then afterwards I have to like cool down. And then I'll eat, but then I have the podcast. So I'll eat really late, which is super unhealthy for your body. But whatever, we're not talking about that. Or we are.
I do not go to the gym before this podcast.
It's okay.
We're just going to put that in there.
Yeah. That's one of those topics that someone has asked me to talk about before is my gym regimen and my gym life. I'm never going to get into it on the podcast. One, because it sounds like you're bragging if you ever talk about the gym in any sort of capacity other than mentioning it. And two, it will actually make me sound like a psychopath. So because you know about my gym regimen and like other friends know about it. And the common statement is you're crazy. So we are not getting into like my deep-seated love-hate relationship with myself in the gym.
I feel like that just opens up a whole thing.
Oh, it opens up Pandora's box of nonsense if you get into it with me. Because it's always going to just turn into this weird circular argument of, it's not healthy to do that for that prolonged period of time. And I'm like, I'm aware. But if I don't, I'll hate myself.
But it's okay because you're still here.
It's okay because you look great doing it.
You're thriving.
That's what I like to tell myself every day. I just keep telling myself that until I believe it.
Yeah, that's all that matters. You gotta keep myself. You're thriving, and it's all good.
Yeah, I'm thriving, and
and surviving.
Surviving, adapt, overcome. Wait, improvise, adapt, overcome. Bear Grylls. But yeah, on that note, that's our podcast for this week. I'm exhausted, but we got through it. And we talked about our topic for once.
Progress.
Always, every day. Next week, I have an assignment for you for next week.
Okay.
You have to go see It Chapter 1 and 2.
Okay, I can do that.
It Chapter 1 you can find online for free. Not that I recommend that people bootleg movies, but you can also rent it on Apple or something for like $2.
Yeah.
And then the new one is so good. I watched it this weekend, and I rewatched It Chapter 1 again last night. So good. I love those movies. And I'm not even a huge horror person, but something about it, so good. But we are going to do that. That's the assignment. That's the big thing that we do here is we're going to talk about it. Partially because I know Arianna doesn't love horror movies, and doesn't like clowns, but I do.
So.
Fuck that clown. I love it.
I mean, I'll see Joker. Like, that's a good clown.
Nah, Pennywise is my boy.
See, now that you've said it, I actually have to do it. It can't just be like me being like, oh no, I didn't have time. You said it, so now I have to do it.
Also, because...
We say bet, like...
Yeah,
from where I'm from, you have to do that.
Yeah, bet. Just bet. But also, not just that, because if we're going to do a review of a movie, you can't bullshit your way through that one that easily, especially a movie that I've seen a bunch.
I've done
Oh.
I've done pretty good with my bullshitting through movies that I have said that I have seen, and then I really have not. I've seen after we've done the podcast.
Or you've seen 15 minutes of it, and you're like, I'm going to coast through as little comments as I can to be as vague as possible.
100%. That's how I go through life.
There's a episode of this show I did with Ben. I'm not going to tell people which one it is. There's an episode I did where I was watching the movie during the podcast silently behind me. Or behind the computer, rather. So I was looking at the screen talking to Ben, but watching the movie on the other side and being like, yeah, the scene where this happens and this happens. And Ben's like, yeah, right? And I'm like, yeah. Not like I'm watching it right now.
I think the one that I did, like, actual, like, I watched fully, besides, like, Drive and all the ones, was, what was the Muppet one that we recently did?
The Dark Crystal?
Yeah, that one. But that was because I was texting you during it and being like, what is
the Muppet one we did? Yeah. No, yeah, because you were actually live texting me through that. I think that's what I need now, is just like some sort of verification that you're actually watching it and not just doing YouTube.
During the movie, but like, what did this happen?
Yeah, not just like YouTube synopses of all the films. I'm going to be like, so what happened at minute 26?
I honestly did that once, and it was fine. Nobody could tell which one it was, but we were fine. We made it. Exactly.
That's the thing. It's just, you just gotta get through it. That's all it is.
Like, I will watch the movie after and then have my points, but I do it after the podcast. It's probably not. It's not professional. But
is this podcast in general very professional? Kind of. Maybe. Not really.
It can be if we make it, but
yeah. I feel like the thing
this works better with our personalities.
Oh yeah, and the other thing is, I've told people in grad school about this podcast, which means they may be listening. Hi, thanks for listening. It's me, Russell. The person you've listened to for I'm half of this show. That's a comment I just made. You're welcome. And now people are going to know too much about me after this, and they're going to be like, yeah, we don't want to fucking hang out with you anymore, dude. You're fucking weird.
Yeah, they're never going to listen to another podcast again.
They're like, you haven't just ruined your podcast for us. You've ruined the entire medium for us. And I'm like, good. That's the goal. Holy shit, my voice just cracked. Fuck. Okay. What's your recommendation for this week?
Ooh, recommendation. Skip me for now. I gotta think about it. You go.
Okay. My recommendation for Arianna and myself is, you guys should definitely, here's my recommendation. It's kind of a vague one. This is what I want you guys to do. Seriously. Like, I don't give a fuck if you don't want to. Go on the internet. Go on Spotify. Go on YouTube. Go wherever. And look up a new genre of music that you may have not listened to. For instance, look up lo-fi. Or for instance, look up maybe like salsa music. Or for instance, look up like Norwegian music. Something like that. Look up a different genre of music. You may learn to love it. Diversify your music portfolio, listening experience, something.
Oh, I have a recommendation. Dark Crystal, the TV show.
Oh, it's so good.
Because we were just talking about that.
Did you watch it?
My brother and my dad have. So no, I have not watched it, no.
It's actually really good. Did your brother and dad like it?
Yes, they did.
It's
so
actually
I know that I'll like it, but I just have not had time.
It's really weird. Your brother came up as one of the people I should add as a friend on Facebook. I don't know why. Because I'm like, who is this? And I'm like, oh, it's Ariana's brother.
Yeah. Facebook does that if you have like one mutual friend.
Yeah. Because I'm like, who? I'm not going to say your brother.
I got some people from like your school that I think you've mentioned that they were like your roommates. And I'm like, oh, wait, that's where I know this guy from. I knew the name looks familiar. Then I'll just see you, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. See, I don't want to mention your brother's name on here or, like, my roommates' names because I don't want weird people looking up. Like, I changed my name on Facebook for that same reason because, like, weird people started adding me. And I'm like, if you listen to the show and you added me, thank you. But other than that, don't. There's too much personal stuff on me on my Facebook. You'll know where I live. No. Or you can figure out where I live pretty easily. Like, you can track me down. I don't want that. I don't want people to track me down. If you want to become my friend via the internet, hit me up on Instagram. What's up? Or, like, if you're really cool and you want to give me free shoes, send me free shoes. I'll set up a P.O. box for shoes. Just hit me up with them sweet sneaks.
Or
yeah.
Or clothes.
Yeah. I'll start a charity for me.
You can DM me. I'll tell you my size.
Yep, DM me. I'm a 10.5 in shoes. And I'm 6'4". I know I have pixie feet for my size.
I'm a 7.
There we go.
Not.
Yep, there we go. Send us free shit, please. I like stuff. But yeah, that's
I'll actually wear it.
That's our recommendation for
like
this
one
week.
of those people that just doesn't wear it. Wears it once and then just doesn't wear it the rest of the time.
See, that's our recommendation for this week. You send us shit. How about that?
If you want to send us money, that's good too.
I'll put my Venmo in the description. Send me money.
If you want to send us, some food from Amazon, like not food from your own home because I don't know about that food.
I don't want razor blades.
Yeah, if you just send me like candy from Amazon. I've been very stressed this week. Just send me chocolate. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not a big candy guy. You can send Arianna candy. You can send me
protein powder
and
pre-workout.
No, those are not the same thing. Pre-workout's like caffeinated Kool-Aid powder, and protein is protein.
Yeah, you can really tell I don't use it.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Don't use pre-workout. It's a slippery slope of addiction.
I do drink green tea an hour before I go to the gym now.
Yeah, it's a similar thing. Caffeine gets you focused, gets you in the zone. The guy who helps train me sometimes, I have a trainer. I had knee surgery. Fuck off. Hey, Mike, I know you listen to this. He was doing smelling salts in the gym. I'm outing you on this. I'm not saying your last name, Mike. Do smelling salts work? Because I know it's like ammonia that you're breathing in, and it like gets you in the zone because it makes you really focus for like 30 seconds.
I thought those were a thing.
Yeah, it's like a thing. It's like a little... Because I had a headache, and he's like, smell this. And I'm like, why? He's like, smell it. And I did. I'm like, oh, shit.
It made a comeback, huh?
I guess so. Yeah, apparently he didn't want to take pre-workout, so he started doing smelling salts. Which I don't know. Is that better or worse? Someone answer that. It's not Coke.
I'd like to know the answer, so someone please answer that.
Yeah, it's not cocaine. It's actually real smelling salts in a thing from Amazon. It's not Coke. Serious. It's not drugs. Maybe it is drugs, but it's not cocaine.
It's not hard. It's not a hard drug.
Yeah, it's a soft drug.
If it is a drug.
It's like crushing a baby aspirin and snorting it before the gym off of a knife and just getting real pumped. I'm kidding. I've never
I'm going to Google that when we're off the air. Because now I want to know.
The whole smelling salts or baby aspirin?
Oh.
The whole baby aspirin thing is to lower your blood pressure.
Interesting.
I'm not going to get into how and why I know that. I have never done that, though, for the record. But the smelling salts thing.
Dead.
It's a thing. But yeah, that's our show. I'm Russell.
I'm Arianna.
This is Nothing and Everything. And we still don't have a theme song because I'm lazy. Thanks for listening. This episode it's online if you're listening. And our audio actually recorded this time. You guys are the best. Send us money.
Thanks.
And shoes.